hit the button.
Oh, cute.
Once again, you were way late, Tess.
Aw,
I mean, way late by like 3.5 seconds.
Yep.
that's pretty late for me.
And considering that
Yeah.
I jumped ahead, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You're really right.
Hey, what?
As always.
Hi, one person. I'm Philip.
I'm Tommy.
This is RCX Unfiltered. Is one person you again, Tess? Huh?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh,
Yes.
exciting.
Now it's me.
Yes. And the other person left. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with this crap.
Enough of
Yeah.
this.
I'm out.
Absolutely not.
It was just like a pity person.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Yeah.
Understandable.
We enjoy pity people.
Mhm.
Thank you. Arms for the poor.
Oh,
Views for the poor. Views for the poor.
The poor.
Ah, what are we talking about tonight, folks?
Bye, Gregory.
Bye, Gregory. Tess, you were supposed to run this whole show tonight. What are we
It
doing?
wasn't tonight.
What?
I haven't given you guys a specific date yet.
But
But what?
that means I've got to come up with a show tonight?
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Huh.
Good luck.
Well, I guess it's going to be like every other show.
I can talk about
Same
moving
45.
boxes. That's really all I've done today is move boxes.
I have not moved boxes. I don't know what I've moved. Nothing. I ain't moved nothing.
I like to move it, move it.
Wow. So have you seen some of the new TikTok trends where it's basically dads doing all the hip lingo with like their 13-year-old daughter next to them?
No.
It is beautiful.
That sounds amazing.
It is beautiful. And one of the dads made it so far where he's actually on the news channel because of his Christmas decorations on his house.
Uh-huh.
And the guy's like asking him, like, you know, how long you been doing this? And what about last year? He goes, last year was okay. He goes, and then he just starts spouting off what this year is. And it's like, and the daughter loses it. Like she becomes so embarrassed. Yeah. It was like, this is great.
That's
Like
beautiful.
I can watch this.
Every once in a while, Phoebe and I try to throw out some cool hip lingo, and the kids are like,
But it's funny, right?
It is. I thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like the more disappointed they are, the funnier it is.
Yeah, I think like the first thing he said though is our lights this year is lit. And the daughter like, what? Yeah, it's actually really pretty good. I thought it was pretty good.
And every once in a while, I'll think that I've seen new TikToks, and I'm like, oh, I've got the new lingo. And Clara's like, no, that was 8 months ago. You're so far behind. And I'm just like, I'm old. It's fine.
But that's because we watch the old TikTok.
Yeah.
So we don't. I mean, most of my TikToks are dogs. So
I've gotten to the point where I'm mostly seeing like musicians that no one has heard of, which is the TikTok I want to be on.
yeah, that's my YouTube.
Okay.
My YouTube is musician. That's how I found like all my current favorite bands.
Same. That TikTok. TikTok.
Mine's all YouTube.
Yeah. The two bands that I've been listening to nonstop for months, I found on TikTok. And I just came across a new one last week. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's like First to 11. That's all I listen to, and then their other band, which is First to 11, but Concrete Castles.
Okay.
They're the same. So one of them's a cover band, which is my favorite band. They've got like over 300 cover songs out there.
Wow.
And then 3 of the 4 of them started Concrete Castles, which is all their original music. So I listen to them a lot too. And then it's Hailstorm with Lizzie Hale.
Yeah.
So First to 11 is like my most listened to band, and Lizzie Hale has like my top 3 songs.
So like my everybody's doing the Spotify rap, but I don't use Spotify. I use YouTube Music, and they do the same thing. And my top 5, my number 1 was Dury, which is a band I found on TikTok. And I was in the top 0.1% of Dury listeners.
Yeah. That's what my First to 11 stuff is.
Yeah.
It's like 0.1%. I'm like, how do you even get to be 1 point like that? like I could have a problem.
Yeah,
That's the
same.
way I looked
Same.
at it. What do you mean 0.1? Like,
Yeah.
how have I listened to that much of your music?
Like, the first half of the year, we listened to a ridiculous amount of Taylor Swift because we were going to see her in concert, and she was number 2.
Right.
So I guess.
Yeah, I think on the YouTube Wrapped or whatever they call it, I think actually
Mhm.
Taylor Swift made my top 5 because we do watch a lot of her videos, but like she didn't make my list on Spotify because I don't listen to
Mine.
But the videos are cool.
I felt very good about mine. It was Dury, Taylor Swift, The Beaches, who I just found in like September, but I've been obsessively listening to them. Bare Naked Ladies,
Well, I mean,
and Watsky, who is
my
favorite rapper. So like that was a good top 5 for me. I felt very good about it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacqueline. Yeah, we talked about this already on one of the shows. But yeah, Jacqueline was freaked out about like, why is Taylor Swift number 2? Like, but like her first song was down to like on the top 100 was like 20. But I'm like, she's got so much.
She's got 376 songs.
Right, and that's the problem. Like, she didn't listen to one song enough to be up there, but she listened. If you listen to the whole,
yeah, and that's I think that's how Taylor got to be number 2 is because I would listen to whole albums at a time. But it wasn't any one song. Like the top 10 songs, 9 of them were Dury, and 1 was The Beaches. Like those were my top 10 songs.
Were you okay this week when the NFL announcer said that she was his wife? Is that?
I saw that and I was just like,
Are
does he
you
know
okay?
something we don't know? And then he apologized, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if you were okay.
I am okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a rough week for the Kansas City fandom.
Fandom.
Yeah. I assume. Like I don't really watch sports, so I just assume like if you're into a certain football team, you're into that fandom.
Yeah.
Like
It wouldn't have been a problem if he hadn't have been offsides.
I saw that they lost for reasons, but I didn't care enough. To
Everybody was
really
complaining about, well, they'll never call that. I'm like, dude, the guy was a foot offsides. Like the football's back here, his foot's over
I
here.
keep
Like that's
seeing a lot of memes about like, how dare you call a correct penalty on us?
I mean, now granted, if you want to use the argument, well, you miss every other call. Well, that's true, but I'm not gonna argue that, but it's still, yeah. I was actually watching that game.
I was not. Shocking, I know.
That's what I was watching before y'all came over.
Wait. I did see part of that game.
You did?
Yeah. We watched it together. But I was looking at comics and not really paying attention to the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on. It was on my TV.
It was, in fact. We were very close. TV is very big.
Yeah, if you sit right there on the edge,
I felt like I was there.
like that's why I don't need to go to a theater. If I sit right on the edge of my sofa on the 60-inch screen, like it's everything you ever wanted to be.
And Watson's there, just snuggling. So yeah, it's a good time.
It's a dream.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it was us, and then they were off somewhere else.
They were upstairs, and I could hear them every once in a while, but
I think Jacqueline and Tess finally ran off Gregory and them. So.
I probably did. I feel bad about that.
Do you?
well, no, Cody had to be at work early,
Mhm.
so they had to go, but it's understandable.
Yeah, Jacqueline made it seem like y'all had it planned. Like I had to, there was a whole story after the fact, after everyone left.
Sure. Understandable.
Evil eyes were given and stuff.
Oh.
I don't really,
I don't give evil eyes.
Mm.
She just gives backstabs.
Yep. Yeah.
Stab your back and steal your dog.
Yep. That's my life motto. I'm gonna write that down. Oh God.
All right, we'll talk about some comics. Speed round. First, we're going to talk about Captain America #4.
This has been the most enjoyable Captain America I've read in a long time.
It really has. And I think it's a lot because of we're seeing a lot of young Steve.
Yeah, a lot of
And-
flashbacks to when Steve was a kid.
and basically what makes him Captain America.
Mhm.
So I think that's a big part of this.
Like if you're a, let's say 16-year-old kid, you're an orphan, you're trying to make it in 1930s New York.
Yeah.
And like you can barely afford food, and you hear that there's these people in Central Park giving out food. And you're like, "Oh, cool, a free meal. I'll go check it out." And they're like, "Okay, here's some Nazi propaganda." And even though you're starving, you're like, "Nope. No, thank you. Don't want any of that nonsense."
Yeah, this has been I like all of those like components.
Yep.
Because it's really taken into account when the Nazis were really trying to pull the US.
Yeah. And when the
into the war.
Nazis were kind of popular in America
What?
for a minute. Not that that's ever happened again.
No, that would never happen again. My favorite line in this book is Captain's getting ready to battle someone, and he's like, I can do a quick assessment. And this is quote, I call it the ham sandwich because I thought of it. It's my idea, so I get to name it. And why not?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good dialogue in this book. So this is how he assesses people he's never fought before. He calls it a ham sandwich because it's the bad person between him and the Shield.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good dialogue in here like that, and you get a lot of the inner musings of Captain America. So if you ever liked Captain America, I would suggest picking this book up.
It's really, really good.
I mean, it is Straczynski.
Yeah,
Writing it,
Straczynski,
so-
you know, everything that he's written in comics, whether it was Spider-Man or Thor or whatever else.
Or my favorite book of all time, which is Midnight Nation.
Midnight Nation.
In case you didn't know.
In case you didn't know.
Like he's never had a miss as far as I'm concerned. Like everything he's done has been really good.
I mean, some people want to complain about the Spider-Man stuff, but
Well, they can just be quiet. People just like to complain about Spider-Man.
yeah. He's mine.
Yeah, whatever.
That's good.
Yep.
All right, we'll do this one next. It's a Haunted Girl, part 3 of 4.
Yep. And
So
it
we
still
are-
hits real close to home for me.
Yeah, this book is
It's exceptionally good. It deals with mental illness in a way that is realistic.
and it's a
Sometimes-
father-daughter
Yeah,
combination.
sometimes a little too realistic for
Yeah.
my liking. But they do a really good job of showing how, like, God, I don't even know how to explain it. Like people with mental illness with specific problems, and then the tools that they learn to deal with those problems, which is not a thing you see a lot. Usually
Right.
you see the mental illness, but you don't, and then the aftermath where they're fine. You don't see the work that takes place between being diagnosed and being okay.
Right.
This shows the work, and then also there's ghosts.
Right.
Because of course it's
Yeah,
a comic book.
I mean, also dealing with some of this in the past, I do like the fact that in here, like her dad is supportive,
yeah,
but he's really not capable of coping with all this either. So he tries.
also relatable.
Yeah, he tries, but there's times where he just comes off as a jerk, and at the end of it, he knows he's a jerk, but that's not.
He's doing his best.
He's doing his best, right?
Absolutely.
Like
He's doing
he's
his
100%
best.
doing his best, and it's
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's some supernatural stuff in here that's related to some of that, but I think there's more to that story too. We only got one more issue, so I'm pretty sure the next issue is going to hit a lot.
So for those of you who have watched Buffy and Angel, there's an episode of Angel after the finale of Buffy where they turn anybody who is a potential slayer into a slayer.
Right.
And there's a young lady in a mental institution who is suddenly a slayer. She's suddenly got superpowers.
Right.
This feels like that.
Yeah, it does actually, kind of. So, yep, there's a lot of that. So, next up is If Batman Was a Dog. I mean, Scrapper number 5. Right? We're at 5 now, right?
I almost took a
6,
picture of
sorry. Scrapper number 6.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought it was a 5
This
issue.
is the end of the story. That last page with the email, I almost sent you a picture of that. And I was
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm gonna let him read it on his
Yeah.
own.
Because I'm like, it's 100%.
Yeah.
What
Like
a perfect
the whole
email.
idea for this book. What if Batman was a
dog.
dog?
Yep. And I'm sitting there going, dang.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Very accurate. Yep.
So this whole book is kind of, I guess, in the future. I mean, we're close to it now.
A corporation runs the country.
Yeah, a corporation runs the country, and they're trying to use animals to do all kind of weird stuff, but actually kind of control the poorer populations.
Yeah.
So probably stuff you've never heard of or ever thought of.
Absolutely not.
But our scrapper here had kind of broke free from a lot of that programming, which is that collar right there. Because as he says in this book, he has a raccoon that's a better engineer.
It's a sassy raccoon who's good with mechanical stuff.
And the pigeons, man.
Never seen that. Oh yeah, the
pigeons.
pigeons. Pigeons are great.
Yeah, this whole book is actually really well done.
Yeah.
I've already told Jacqueline she's got to read this when the trade comes out.
It's very good. And I read it because the first issue had a dog on the cover.
Yeah, and that's the
only reason I read it. And I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, that's the only reason I read this too. And I mean, well, it's also, I think, what Alex DeCampi helped is a co-writer on this book, and I kind of read a lot of stuff that she does, but I highly suggest if you really want to see what would Batman be like as a dog, this is kind of. But even the cats, right? Like all of them, all the animals are handled so well.
This is a thing, like the big finale thing involves a bunch of water, and the cats are like, "Oh no!"
Yeah,
yeah, it's super fun.
Stupid water. Next up is
Santa Claus.
Batman, Santa Claus, Silent Knight. Not just night, it's Knight.
So this issue has a lot of background and lore about Santa Claus and Krampus, and how they're friends.
Right. Yes. And then it also ties into the Night Terror miniseries that came out a few months ago, which I thought was excellent.
That was unexpected.
So basically, like I said last week, because it's issue 1 came out last week, 2 is this week. They really actually have now brought Santa Claus or this Saint Nick into the DC universe.
Yeah.
And he is
really well done.
Like trenched in.
Yeah.
Like he's trained Batman. He's so, and I've enjoyed it. Like both issues have been really good.
Yeah.
I thought.
I didn't expect much from it.
I
picked it up because Dan Mora did the cover, so I assumed he did the designs on Santa.
Yep,
which
he did.
He clearly did.
Yeah. Yeah. He did all the designs.
And it's been super fun.
Yeah. I was really I wasn't expecting a whole lot. Like I enjoy all the different holiday books and one shots and stuff like that. I just enjoy those anthologies. They're always a lot of fun. Like there's a DC one this week where it's Lex Luthor in, what did I say earlier? The Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's actually written by Ethan, who wrote this. So the Luthor story in that book is written by Ethan, and I'm looking forward to that story. So because it's Luthor in the Christmas Carol.
Yeah. No one loves A Christmas Carol like Philip.
I love A Christmas Carol. I will watch any version of A Christmas Carol. Even a show I hate, if they do a Christmas Carol version, I will watch. I love Christmas Carol stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's not the Muppets, but
no Christmas Carol is as good as the Muppets.
So anyway, Silent Night has been excellent. I would highly suggest that because it is the story, and it's not just a one-off silly build. Like there really hasn't been anything silly in that book. Like
not at all. Yeah. I was expecting it to be a bit goofy.
Yeah,
but it's a straightforward superhero comic that just happens to have Santa Claus and Krampus in it.
Yeah, I guess the silliest thing, if you want to call it silly, is all the people sitting there going, "Holy crap, you know Santa Claus?"
The
Or
best
it
was in the
exists.
first issue when Nightwing was like, I thought he was just making this up.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, sure. Next up is
Speaking of Nightwing,
Titans Beast World #2. Da da da.
so this was Gregory's pick of the week because he got to it before I did. It's, oh my God. It's one of those things where like the whole premise of this particular crossover is one of that I was like, if anyone else was writing it, I would not care, like at all. But it's Tom Taylor.
Right.
And he's been writing Nightwing and Titans and really has made Titans the Justice League level, like top tier team in the DCU. Yeah. The book is gorgeous. It's unbelievably well written. Tom Taylor understands the characters in the DCU better than most writers.
Right.
Like the dynamics, especially in the Bat family. He's very good at writing the Bat family. He did it with Injustice. He did it again with Deceased. He's just very, very good at understanding the motivations and everything of like Bruce and Nightwing and Damian and Tim and everybody.
And this book really is going to have major impacts because it's coming out of the Titans book, and Waller is all over this.
Yeah.
Like, I am pretty positive she's the one who's set off all the events.
Yeah, and John Cena's in this. I'm sorry, Peacemaker's in this. I have thoroughly enjoyed everything involving Peacemaker since the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
I guess
this book ends in Titan 6, so yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 3
this
of these.
Is absolutely like when in the past when we've had a crossover that involved like the Justice League or whatever. This is that kind of crossover where the Titans are the premier team in the DCU right now. And Waller's like, Titans?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, she's upset because the late 20-year-olds are in charge.
Yeah.
Early 30-year-olds are in charge and not the old folk.
She's like, these dang millennials.
Yeah, she actually says that, actually.
Yeah. And they're like, we'll fix everything. It's fine.
Here we go. Do you really want the planet in the hands of a group of 20-somethings? That's her.
I do, actually. Right now, yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
That's her problem. Let them. I don't want the Titans in here. Poor Cena. A big old helmet.
Yep. Anyway, Beast World has been, I mean, I was expecting it to be good because it's Tom Taylor, but it has surpassed my expectations. I actually posted on one of the social medias as myself.
What?
Talking about how like the first issue of this could have been an event all by itself. And they did it in one issue because there was so much going on.
Yeah. So I will tell you that that one issue felt like, and I always go back to this, felt a lot like that when Moon Knight fought the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like the way that was like a 4 or 5 part series, but every single issue could have been 3 or 4 issues.
Yeah.
Like that could have been a 12-issue event.
Yep.
And they did it like in. So yeah, that's been really good too.
Yep.
There's books, lots of books this week.
I'm
Weird.
lost.
Next up is Superman Lost #9, or How Many Ways Can Superman Kill Lex Luthor?
Like, rarely do we get to see Superman fantasizing about killing Lex Luthor, but
this is an entire issue.
Like
dedicated.
half of this book is just Superman, like various ways that Luthor could die.
So if you don't know, Luthor gave Lois cancer.
Yeah.
And Superman found out at the end of issue 8. So here's where we pick up in issue 9.
He's not happy about it.
He's not
shocking, I know.
He is not happy. But it's interesting because it goes from like, hey, here's what's going on now to Superman's fantasy.
Yeah. And much like the flashbacks and the way that they dealt with the time differences, there's nothing noting that this is a fantasy.
No.
Like you just kind of have to intuit it.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, this one was easier because I'm like, well, Superman's not going to kill Lex Luthor.
Right. Every time I'm at the end of the page, Luthor's dead, and I'm like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
This is Superman thinking.
Think it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes to counseling.
Yeah. Like, I really want to kill this guy in the worst way possible. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, yeah. Counsel's like, yeah, it's fine. Overall, I'm still not sure how I feel about this series.
I think
like once again, it's like the first book I read when it comes out, but I don't know if I like it or is it a train wreck.
so. I think the way it ends is going to determine whether or not
So do I.
we love it or we just read it because it was All-Star Batman and Robin again.
Yeah, but like once again, I enjoy the book, but there's just something.
Yeah.
The wrap up has got to be the next issue.
And there's only one left.
Yeah.
So like, whatever's happening is happening next.
But there was so one of my issues with this book actually started getting cleared up in this, which was the whole Lois thing.
Yeah.
Like, you've been gone this many years. What you been doing? That's a trap. It's that. You know that. You know that's not anything.
Yeah, something happens at
Superman.
the end of the book, and it's like, did Superman do a thing? But I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No.
No, absolutely not.
It's not a thing.
When issue 10 comes out, we'll talk about it more in depth.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. We may actually have a half a show about this book.
Yeah.
Because it is, and once again, it's confusing.
Mhm.
Right. The other issues, like Tommy said, it goes back to the past, present, and future, but there's no transition. And then he created the future to look like the present. So when he's in his house, you don't know which one he's in.
Yeah, and that's been my big issue with this book is because I can't tell when a lot of things are happening. Like, is it now or is it what? Anyway, like,
Yeah, because he wears the same suit too,
Yeah.
like the suit that he got while he was.
and just to
Lost.
reiterate, I know we've said this before talking about this book. Like, Lois is home, and he leaves, and then 20 minutes later he comes back, but he's been gone for 20 years. Like, literally 20 years trying to get back home.
Huh. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy #9. So we are still in the middle of Grootfall, which we now know what Grootfall is. It's not evil. It just seemed evil.
Okay.
But basically, in this issue, we have Mantis and Gamora going on a road trip back to Earth to get Drax's human soul.
Oh, sure.
So it is so Groot is kind of healed them.
Mhm.
But Drax is still having not necessarily a hard time because he doesn't have his human soul anymore from when he turned into this Drax.
Oh, okay.
Remember the Drax
Yeah.
transitions?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, because Drax, believe it or not, people, Drax was a human. Most
Once
people,
upon a time.
once upon a time, Drax was a human, and then he got transfigured into this Drax, which is a little different. But they went on a road trip and so this is also a trip for Mantis because she doesn't really know who she is, but she's tapped into the multiverse.
Well, she's the one who knows.
Right. So she's tapped into the multiverse, so she's having to learn who she is again
Oh,
by
okay.
shifting between her different selves.
Hmm.
And that turns into this series has actually been really good. Like, and we've kind of dealt with Gamora's drinking problem too.
Oh, all right.
Gamora has a drinking problem.
So if you want this book, come see us next week because we got shorted.
Oh crap, I forgot.
Yeah, we don't have any for the rack. So
You should have told me not to talk about it then.
that's
I
fine.
completely forgot.
It's fine. It's fine.
Man.
We can well, next week. We will allegedly have them. Like
You told me, but I just forgot.
we might have them tomorrow. I don't know.
Tomorrow?
I submitted the we got shorted on these on Saturday because that's when we got the books. So we might have them tomorrow. I don't know for sure.
Or I just read Guardians of the Galaxy a week early. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's madness.
It's like Tess has been staring at those Heartstopper books all day. That comes out next week. Yeah, I got in here. She was on the floor over there doing just rocking back and forth and
Oh
staring at the
my
book.
god.
That's what she was doing earlier when I left to go to the storage unit.
Yeah, that's where it's been. I guess it's been all day then. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
My hardcover comes in like 2 weeks though.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is another Straczynski book, The Madness, number 5. So I'll let Tommy talk about this, but I've loved this book. Like I've loved this book.
I'm usually not one for like the revenge story,
Boy, is this one good.
but man, like, God, it feels like if the boys took out someone's family, and then that someone is like, I am going to kill you all. And they were like, whatever, doesn't matter. And then they had the ability to kill them all.
And then the reason that did it too.
Yeah.
Like I truly love this book.
Yeah,
Like-
I really enjoyed it.
Like this book has made it up. Like I'm not saying it's like a top 5 book of all time, but it is
Mhm.
like it's up there probably right below Reborn.
Okay.
And what was his other one? The one where she was his Miller's other book where she was the space queen and ran.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was.
It'll
called.
come to me in a minute when I'm not thinking about
Yeah.
it. But that is similar to this, except for that's a lot of heavy space
Mhm.
sci-fi. This is not.
Yeah, this is very grounded. Like it's superhero stuff, but it feels very grounded.
Yeah. Imagine your Justice League working for the government. And then they killed your family.
Yeah.
She's not happy about it.
No, not at all.
So I have thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah.
this book.
And I will say the way she's murdering people, very creative.
Very creative. Yeah. They just think she's just dumb and stupid. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not.
They're like, oh, there's 3 of us here. We'll be fine. Spoiler, you're
Spoiler,
not
you're
going to
not.
be fine.
Yeah. Like all you had to do was just leave her alone. Once
Mhm.
again, just leave the person alone. It's like all those movies, right? Like I
Mhm.
want to get out of the business. You can't get out of this business. Well, then you all have to die.
Yeah, the book started with like, she's like, I'm going to do this one last heist. And then
We're done.
me and you and your kids, who I love like they're my own kids, are going to retire to like an island. And then
They
they-
nuke her
they nuke her, but they only kill her husband and
and the
children.
kids. Yeah. Yeah. She lived.
Yeah. They done goof.
Oops. So, yeah. The madness has been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Hey. This is Tommy's pick of the week.
It is.
Zawa.
So the first
Number
issue
2.
of this, I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then the second issue, I was like, oh, this is really good. So basically, it feels like a post-apocalyptic future kind of thing.
Once again, there's a corporation in the government who runs everything.
Yeah, and
And
there's
owns everything.
every year they have a big feast celebration. Like most of the year, everybody lives off whatever scraps they can scrounge together. But once a year, the guy in charge of everything has a big feast, and they celebrate
The Guardian.
the guardian who protects them. It turns out the guardian who protects them has been chained in a basement for some number of years.
In a factory where all the food is made.
Yeah. So she's like, I just want snacks. And anyway, there's God, I don't even know how to describe
But
this
she's the
book.
land's guardian, though, not just
Yeah,
like she's, I guess, some type of god.
maybe.
Like not like a all powerful type god, but like she's definitely part of the land.
Mhm.
Like almost like Gaia.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
Like I think she's I guess the best way to, because Gaia is the god of the earth, and that's kind of where she is.
Yeah.
Because she once she gets healthy, she can make her hair grow flowers and stuff.
And this is a boombox title, so it's all ages appropriate.
It's wonderful.
It's fun.
Here,
The main characters are teenagers. If you enjoy stories involving teenagers, this was fantastic.
don't we all?
I do. I enjoy teen stories. Some of it's cute, some of it's fun, some of it's a little bit scary.
And the mayor calls her a dangerous monster
She is a dangerous monster.
because if she's out and she can actually help everyone,
Mhm.
what power would he have?
She just really wants some cookies.
So
That's really all she wants.
Same.
yeah, that's 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
100% what she wants.
Like the main characters are the children of a guy who used to be like the top chef in this area, and he died, and his cookbook was lost. Well, his kids found it. It was buried in the same trash heap that Zawa was in. So like whoever the mayor guy who's in charge of everything, clearly one of these recipes is to disappear. And part of it is like these kids love making food.
But they have no ingredients.
But yeah, they don't have any ingredients. So there's like interpretive dance of food. Like, they're just like, I will throw some things together and see what happens.
And the art's great too.
It is.
Like,
The book is
it's
very fun.
it's all really good.
Even on the cover, she's eating a cookie.
Yeah.
And there's a cat.
Aw.
She did not eat the cat.
She
No
didn't.
animals were harmed in the
No.
making of this.
No.
Now she probably did eat that watermelon.
I would imagine.
Sorry, this book is called Zawa and the Belly of the Beast,
Yes.
number 2.
Yes. She is the beast and her belly needs more cookies.
Me too.
I think I have cookies at home unless Jacqueline's eating all the cookies.
I did eat one of those Sunday. It was very good. My stomach was very upset. But
Nothing happened.
Why did you throw that?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
because he died.
He died.
I say you he did.
So my pick of the week is Moon Knight number 30. And yep, there you go.
He did.
No more Moon Knight. We'll never see another Moon Knight ever again. We're
It's
done
like if
with
Superman died and he never
it.
came back.
He'll never come back. Oh, wait, look, a new Moon Knight rises. Oh, look, phew, we're saved. Moon Knight number 1. All right.
Good news, guys.
Actually, so the way that McKay got this whole thing is because of the Moon Knight. They wanted something to come out of the Moon Knight Avengers.
Mhm.
And so they asked him to pitch a Moon Knight. And he did. And they gave it to him. And this series has been probably, believe it or not, one of the better Moon Knight series. Like, and that's talking about businesses and like everyone. Like this
Mhm.
series from beginning to end, dealing with his mental illness, dealing with how he interacts with characters. They made him a little bit more human than before because boy, has he screwed everyone over the years. So let's not get there. But it is all handled really well. And then he runs the Midnight Mission, which helps everyone in New York. But this is Mark Spector's final battle, and it all makes sense. If you've been reading this series, like because of the Avengers Moon Knight battle that happened, Khonshu basically is locked up on Asgard.
Yeah.
Because he tried to take over everything. To be fair, he was trying to stop Mephisto.
I mean,
And
yeah.
to be fair,
But when you're like as bad as Mephisto,
just saying.
like,
Just saying. So basically, with Khonshu locked up, like he can't resurrect people because his powers are dampened.
Yeah.
When you're a god locked up by other gods,
yeah.
it don't work so well.
Sorry, Mark.
So, yep. And this is basically his last stand throughout this series until we find out who this new Moon Knight is. But I'm assuming we're actually going to get. Like, I mean, come on, is Mark going to stay dead for the next 30 years? Who knows?
My hope is that this is a crossover with Spider-Ham and it's Moon Knight,
Moo,
and that there's a cow
Yeah.
with superpowers.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to fit in this suit.
Please, cow.
But anyway, so we are getting a new Moon Knight series coming up.
It looks cool.
Vengeance, which looks really cool. The suit and everything looks really cool.
I mean,
But
it'd be cooler if he was a cow, but
yeah, probably not. We are getting a new Moon Knight in the Ultimate Verse, though.
yes, we
which
are.
is insane.
Yeah, the
way,
Ultimate stuff that's coming in
'cause
January,
that's Black
February.
Panther related.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see how
Read
that
this
goes.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It is wonderful. If you like Moon Knight. I mean, if you don't like Moon Knight,
Yeah.
I mean, I could see how some people would not like Moon Knight.
I think Moon Knight's fine. He's never been a character that really resonated with me per se, but I have read a handful of Moon Knight series that I really liked, and I really enjoyed the Disney Plus show. That might have been because of the hippo lady.
I loved that show.
Me too. It was really well done.
Like it was enough different for that show.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've been handling the mental illness side of him really well.
Yeah.
And this, and then how they sometimes they don't work well together, but then sometimes they're like, come on, people. He has multiple personalities.
Yep. One of them's a little girl.
Yeah. We haven't seen her in a long time. So
Oh.
I think at some point they just kind of went, we're not going to do this.
That's fair. You
that
know
was
what?
at the end.
Fair
Was
enough.
that at the end of Bendis's or Brubaker's?
Brubaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was she existed before Bendis's run.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. But yeah, but I haven't seen her show up in a long time.
Might
So
have
I
even
think-
been earlier than that.
It
It
may
might
have
have been
been.
like early 90s. I feel like she was a 90s creation.
That was after that.
Maybe. You've read way more Moon
Yeah,
Knight than
I don't
have.
think it
know.
was. I don't feel like it was that far back, mainly because I don't think I can remember that far back.
Who knows? It all blends together.
That's the only reason that I would think that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know either. It could be.
So we're running out of time, but I want to bring up that Sunday we all got together and had a little holiday party, and Tess took home a giant bag of books and has read the first Ultimate Spider-Man hardcover.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did it. 4.5 stars.
yeah.
Would
It's-
I
you, would you
very
like to
much
come talk
enjoyed
about it?
Ultimate Spider-Man is my favorite iteration of Spider-Man. I know Philip's also a big fan.
Yes.
So
It's probably my favorite overall run
Yeah.
from top to bottom.
yeah, beginning to end,
Yeah.
it's phenomenal.
Like for me, if you're looking in continuity, the slot stuff that he did for his whole
Yeah.
run, because he gave you Spider-Verse. So
Yeah.
But
yeah, he was the impetus for the animated Spider-Verse movies, which
yeah, sure.
thank you.
But as far as a beginning to end,
Yeah.
there's nothing. There's
Mhm.
very little Spider-Man that's
And like part of it, like we were talking about this the other night, Tess really enjoys more grounded, like
Character-driven.
human interactions, character-driven stuff, and some of the superhero stuff that she's read, she's not been like overly fond of because that's not her jam.
sure.
And Philip and I were like, you should read Ultimate Spider-Man because it's all the things you like plus superheroes.
Right.
Mhm.
And
It was really good.
sounds like
I can't wait to read more.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So excited to talk about this with you.
I mean, there may be little pieces through there you're not going to like, but by the time you get to the end, you're going to like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. God, it's so good.
Yeah. Especially when you see how some of the characters later on interact at near the end.
Yeah.
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 Next time I stop by your house, I'll grab the next like 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime. Just go pick it
Yeah.
up.
It makes me want to go back and reread it. I haven't reread it in like 7 or 8 years.
So I was sitting there. I think I told Jacqueline, it could have been that I told myself into my head and then actually bring it up to her. But I was sitting there going, I'm sort of kind of jealous because she gets to read it for the first time.
Right? Right?
Right?
And like I'll never,
You
if,
can live vicariously hilariously through me.
Yeah, like it's
So I was one of those people when they announced the Ultimate Universe. I was like, "What is this stupid nonsense? Why do we need to do this? This is dumb." Blah, 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 blah. And then I had a buddy who lived in New York, and we talked about comics a lot. And he was like, "Dude, are you reading this?" I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not going to read this. This is stupid." And he's like, "No, you need to read it." And I just refused. And then he sent me like the first 4 or 5 issues in the mail, just like mailed them to me. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll read it. And then I sat down and read it, and I was like, I am a dumb. This is amazing.
It was really good.
Yeah. And then from that point on, I was fully in.
yeah. I mean, it was at the time. I mean, it was really Bendis's big break.
Yeah.
Right, because before that, all the stuff was like I had read all of Bendis's stuff up till that,
But it was all indie stuff.
but it was all indie. It was Torso and all that stuff, which is all great stuff. And then he jumped into Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, a lot of his stuff was like crime noir.
It was all crime noir. Yeah.
And then like Powers. I guess Powers had started before Ultimate Spider-Man. I think.
Really?
I don't know.
It probably did. I just can't remember.
But Powers is basically NYPD Blue with superpowers.
I love Powers.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's
so
a whole
good.
nother thing.
And I'm not a fan of cop shows, but Powers was excellent.
Yeah, Powers was. I was really good. Yeah. So, anyway, I guess that will be it for tonight.
I guess so.
We will be back again next week to do something.
Yay.
Tess and I will be back next week.
So I might be here next week. We are driving to Ohio to pick up Phoebe's oldest from college. So we're going to leave Monday night at midnight. So if I'm here next Tuesday, I'm going to be sleep deprived.
Yeah, he won't be here next week.
It should be fun. It should be super fun.
But listen, it's okay because Heartstopper Volume 5 comes out next week. So I will have plenty of things to talk about.
So tonight on a special edition of RCX UnPHILtered, we will be discussing Heartstopper.
We will. We will.
All right.
A
Thanks,
very
everybody.
special episode.
Very special.
Oh, very special. All right.
All right,
Talk to you later. Bye.